everybody, welcome back to another YouTube practice. I took a short break from uploading YouTube videos to launch my new at-home video course, which is called Bendability for Beginners. There's lots more information on that in the description of this video, but for now we're back to our regular YouTube practices. We're going to start with a full body routine, and this is going to use yoga blocks. Yoga blocks are a great tool to help you to go a little bit deeper into yoga poses, and they'll also help you to hold them for a little bit longer, which will increase your flexibility. If you don't have yoga blocks, that's okay. You can use really firm pillows or cushions and maybe some nice thick books if you have them too. So go ahead and grab what you need, and then we'll get started with this flexibility routine. We'll begin our practice today in child's pose, just using one yoga block or a cushion. So you can keep your block or cushion on the mat like so, and then bring your hips to sit on your block with your legs either side of it. So if you want to focus on your back and get a nice stretch into your back, you can keep your knees together. If you'd prefer to open up your hips with this pose, you can take your knees wide apart. Now reach your hands towards the front of your mat, resting your forehead on the mat. Alternatively here, you can take that second block and rest your forehead onto your block. Dropping all of your muscles away from the bone, allowing your body to get heavy. Scan through each part of your body and just see if you're holding on to any tension. If you are, you have lots of time here to just relax, release that tension, allow gravity and this pose to do the work. Once you feel nice and heavy, you can bring your awareness to your breath, encouraging your breath a little bit deeper, maybe a little bit slower if that feels good for you. And we'll pause here just like this for the next minute. You might start to notice that your mind is thinking about something. If that's happening, it's completely normal. As soon as you notice your thinking, just try to bring your awareness back to your breath or back into your body. Feel everything that's happening. In just a few more seconds here. On an inhale, press your hands down into your mat and pull yourself back up so you come onto all fours into tabletop pose. Now we'll bring both our blocks towards the front of the mat, and if you're using cushions, I recommend not to use cushions for this pose. You can just do it without the blocks. So we're making our way into puppy pose. It's a great way to increase flexibility in your shoulders and your upper back. Start by making sure your knees are directly below your hips, and they're going to stay there for the entire duration of this pose. Then you're bringing your hands onto your yoga blocks. For some people, it might be more comfortable to have your forearms on the block. You can figure that out once we're in the pose. Now you're just melting your chest down towards the mat. Maybe forehead will come as well. Remember, your hips stay directly above your knees. There is a tendency for them to slide back. Try not to do that. Hands will stay about shoulder width distance apart. And it's very important in this pose, if you feel any tingling or numbness within your hands, to bend your elbows and bring your hands back closer to you. Tingling can be a sign that a nerve is being pinched, so we definitely don't want to feel that. Feel free to adjust your blocks or the position of your arms on your blocks. We're going to be here for 1 minute. Once you feel settled, release all the tension from your body. Let gravity do the work. Find your breath wherever it is and try your best to follow it, encouraging long breaths in and out. Take one more big breath in and out. Now slowly reverse out of your pose, making your way back to tabletop. From here you might want to do cat pose just by keeping your hands below your shoulders, rounding your spine, dropping your head. Point your tailbone down and take a big breath in here, opening up through the back of your shoulders. And then exhaling, you can make your way back to that neutral spine, and we'll come into fish pose. This is my personal favorite pose to do with a block. It will be supported fish pose. And again here, if you're using your cushion, just place your cushion where I'm placing my block. So back behind us. And then you can experiment here, see whatever will work best for you. We're placing our shoulder blades onto the block like so. I like to align the bottom of my shoulder blades with the edge of the block. And then we're asking the crown of our head to come to the mat. Now, if your head doesn't make it to the mat like mine is here, you can always take that second block or a cushion and place it in underneath your head to rest on. Once you've found whatever works for you, you might spread your legs and your arms nice and wide apart. Noticing here how the block or the cushion is opening up your lungs. Take advantage of that by taking nice big breaths in and out. We'll be here for 2 minutes, really taking some time to release all the tension from your body, getting heavier and heavier by the second. Keep your connection to your breath as best you can, and just relax here for the next moment or two. Take your last breath here in this pose. Once you've exhaled, we'll prepare to come out of the pose nice and slowly. First, tuck your chin towards your chest, lifting your head up. You might prop yourself up on an elbow and then remove your block or cushion. Come back down now to rest on your back, noticing a big difference here. Take some time to allow your body to digest the pose that we've just done. Here we'll take a nice full body stretch. You can extend your arms up past your head, step your feet in beside each other, stretch your toes as far away from your fingers as you can, and take a big breath in to stretch every muscle of your body. Keep stretching, stretching, stretching. And now on an exhale, you can let your muscles go. We'll slowly pick ourselves up again. So we're sitting on the mat with our legs out long in front of us. Coming into a seated forward fold now. Take your block or cushion and sit up on it. Try to keep your legs parallel to each other so your feet aren't flopping in or flopping out. They have a nice neutral alignment. Take a big breath in and reach your hands up, stretching your spine. As you exhale, fold forward over your legs, dropping your hands either side of your legs, and then dropping your nose towards your knees. Within the seated forward fold, we want to try keep our spine as straight as possible. So if you feel as though you're rounding, take a bend into your knees, and that's going to help you to keep your spine straighter. Getting a nice deep stretch here into your hamstrings and your back. Start to notice all of those sensations. Again here, releasing any tension that might have accumulated in your body. Taking note of your shoulders, your jaw, making sure everything is nice and loose. Gravity will do most of the work here, but you might be able to use each exhale to go a little bit deeper into the pose. We're here for 2 minutes in total. This is a really nice pose to force your awareness inward. So if you start to notice your mind has gone to external places out into the world, try take it back here to your yoga mat, focusing for now just on you, just on your body, on your breath. Take your last big breath here. Now with your next inhale, slowly push yourself away from your mat, coming back up to sit. You can remove your block or cushion from underneath, and we'll come into reverse tabletop here just to stretch out the front of the body after we've been folding forward. So your shoulders will come up towards your ears, dropping your hands back behind you, fingers facing forward. Bend your knees and lift your hips up towards the sky. Gently drop your head back. Keep the hips high. We're only here for 10 seconds in total. Keep breathing for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hips coming back down to the mat. And from here, we'll come into a nice low lunge. So it's time to stretch out the hips. You can have both of your blocks towards the front of your mat. And again here, if you're using cushions, cushions won't really substitute for this pose. So you can just have your hands on books if you're using books, or just keep them on the mat. So we'll start on the right side. We have both of our hands on the blocks. Step your right foot forward in between the blocks. Slide your back knee back as far as is comfortable for you. And then we'll relax into our lunge just like so. So I find having my hands on the blocks helps me to drop the hips a little bit closer to the mat, getting a little bit deeper. As always, listen to and respect your body. If it's giving you any sign that it doesn't want to go any deeper, just stay where you are. You might even close your eyes. Give yourself the space just to focus on these new sensations within the hips. Find your breath and keep sending your inhale into whatever tightness that you feel. Now, if you want to go a little bit deeper in this pose, you can take it into lizard pose or dragon pose. So I'll remove my blocks so you can see. I'm stepping my right foot to the outside of the right block or right hand and have it on a 45-degree angle, so your toes are pointing away. And then settle your hands back down onto your blocks. Noticing again how this makes you feel. There is an option here to go a little bit further, again, only if your body wants to. You can bring your forearms down onto your blocks. Yoga meets you wherever you are, so don't worry about where you are. Just focus on what is feeling good for you. We'll spend the next few breaths here. Take one more full breath. Wherever you are, you can slowly start to make your way back into downward dog. So bring your hands back to your mat. We'll step that right foot back behind us. Drag your hips up and back. Point your tailbone up and drop your head towards your mat. You might paddle your feet here. Just release anything the pose might have created. With an exhale, drop both knees back down onto your mat, and we'll repeat on the left side. So now your left foot comes forward. Hands resting either side of your foot on your blocks. Slide that back knee back as far as is comfortable for you. If your back knee is feeling a bit sensitive, you can keep your toes tucked, and that will take some of the pressure off of your back knee. So again here, find what works. Take a few breaths just in this lunge. Maybe you can drop your hips a little bit lower. Maybe you can release some tension from somewhere in your body. And if your body does want to go a little bit deeper, you can bring that left foot to the outside of your left block. Point the toes away. See how you're feeling here. And again, if you're ready to go a little bit deeper, you can come down onto your forearms. Holding here for 2 minutes in total. And this isn't an easy pose, so don't worry again where you are, just accept it, breathe into it. If you enjoy these kinds of practices, nice and slow, using some yoga blocks, I have a full playlist of practices just like this, so you can check that out once you're finished here. And for your last few breaths on this side, take your awareness back to your breath, back to your body. You're almost there. One more big breath. When you're ready, start to reverse out of your pose, making your way back into downward dog. And again, once you're there, point that tailbone up, drop the head down, and do whatever you need to do to release the poses that we've done today. You might bend your knees here or sway your hips from side to side. Make sure you're not leaving any tension in your hips. Now with an exhale, drop both knees back down onto your mat, and you can make your way back into a seat. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice. I hope you enjoyed using yoga blocks in your yoga routine, and hopefully you're feeling a little bit more flexible now. Don't forget to check out the playlist of all of these practices using yoga blocks, and also if you are interested in becoming more flexible, make sure to check out Bendability for Beginners, which is my new at-home yoga course, which will help you to double your flexibility with just 20 minutes of yoga a day. So I'll see you for the next practice. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you soon.